What's up, guys? Merry Christmas. And today I just played a tournament here in my city. It was a Christmas tournament, rapid one, 15 minutes per player without an increment. I won the tournament with 6.5 out of 7. And I want to show you a miniature that I made against an IM, the first favorite in the tournament. I won in 17 moves. But before that, I also want to show you a game of my son, who's, just like you know, around 1600. And he played against 1900 guy, and he won in 11 moves. So let me just show you what happened there. Just like I told you, wish you Merry Christmas, all the best, and let's just hope that together we're going to be enjoying in your wins, you will enjoy in my analysis, and we'll be able to apply all these things, not just in 2023, but in upcoming years as well. So let's get started. My son went for e4. His opponent was a guy whose name is Vasic, 1915. Rapid tournament, like I said, 15 minutes. He went for the French opening. My son always plays knight c3, and after knight f6, I taught him to play normal stuff with f4, followed by knight f3 and bishop e3, which is called Steinitz variation of the French main line. But he really likes Halden variation with the queen h5. That's also a way to play, especially in blitz and rapid time controls. And to be honest with you, I also like this move. I played it even in a tournament game this year in the Serbia Open. It's a lot of fun, and somehow you really enjoy this stuff. He played queen h5. His opponent went for c5. For all of you who would like to come up with this variation, and maybe you really want to take a look at the variations and all the secrets of this line, find the video on the channel. It's called How to Play Against French Halden Variation, something like that. So after queen h5, c5, he went with knight f3, and his opponent realized that he's willing to jump knight g5 and played h6. When I analyzed this afterwards with my son, he just told me, well, Dad, you know, h6 doesn't stop knight g5 at all. And I said, that's pretty smart way of thinking. So he played knight g5. Point is that if h takes g5, he takes on h8, c takes d4, knight b5, and knight e5 doesn't seem to be working because of knight e4, or even according to engines, white is just a lot better. And not to mention, in a human chess, you're just up an exchange. You have an easy bishop b5 followed by short castle. g5 is possibly weak. You can hardly develop yourself. And in that case, you can just realize that the h takes g5 doesn't work. So his opponent went with queen e7, and that's exactly the point of Halden variation, stretching your opponent with these two knights. And believe it or not, this game ended up in 3 moves. His opponent played g6, wanted to kick away this queen, and of course he just played queen h3. He cannot move this queen anywhere else because he just keeps the pin on the rook on h8. And his opponent, he simply fell to, at this moment, he couldn't find the defense of knight c7, knight d6, even look at this. I mean, he's completely lost it for some reason somehow, but I once again have to repeat, the guy's like 65 years old, 1915, pretty good player. When I played once against him, I didn't have an easy game. But this guy played f5. So when you surprise them so bad, they tend to crack so easily. My son just came up with check, and when the guy played king d8, played knight e6. What do you want? I mean, 11 moves, such a simple game. King is in, let's just say, mate. Of course, he has to give up the queen. And the worst coming here, when he moved the king to e7, knight c7 would once again win the rook. I mean, it's completely crazy how they fall apart in these positions. And once again, if you really want to find what to do and how to play Halden variation, check my video here on the channel. He ended up with 3 points out of 7 games. And now let me show you my game. I played against the guy who who was my ex-coach, international master Djukic, an experienced good player. He's still higher rated in rapid chess than me. And we just played for the first place. I was white in this tournament. I just have to say that I played 4 games and won all those 4 games within 20 moves. So looks like slowly but surely my preps from Serbian finals work. So what happened there? Basically, after e4, Djukic went for d5. I decided to take on d5, and of course, don't forget, I believe this is probably one of the worst possible things to play against me right now, because in just about 20 days, maximum 1 month, you're going to be able to get a Chessable course, Butcher the Scandinavian, where I absolutely refuted all the lines against black. So he played queen takes d5, knight c3, queen a5, d4, knight f6, knight f3, and went with the line bishop g4. I'm never afraid in Scandinavian positions when they play bishop g4. Simply, I don't think this bishop belongs there. You just have to kick it away with h3, and my opponent played bishop h5. You just have to know that bishop can take on f3, then you recapture by queen, and if knight c6, you have tons of different moves. I actually like, for example, bishop b5 here would win them almost immediately, but let's just say when they play c6, all you want to do is just bishop d2, threatening to jump off with the knight, and basically then you just go with g4, g5, and they can never make long castle because f7 is going to be weak. So my opponent went with the bishop h5, I kicked the bishop away and jumped with the knight on e5. No, my intention is not to take this bishop. Okay, in some circumstances, in some lines, I can consider taking it on g6, but basically when I come on e5, I want to go with bishop g2 to completely, continue with development of my pieces, but I also want to go with knight c4, harassing this queen. Djukic went for a6, I played knight c4, and he played queen a6. Here, I said queen is in the middle of nowhere, so it's a pretty good thing for me. So let's say I played bishop f4, and let me just go with the knight d6. Turns out that the bishop f4 is mistake here. Is mistake because I'm just losing initiative. I go for tricks. This is a rapid chess. And you usually go for tricks and tactics in these positions. According to top engines, I was supposed to play h4, and once again, old good rule of the Scandinavians, don't play normal stuff, don't go with short castle. Basically, the whole concept on the Scandinavian is based on chasing the light square bishop away once they come out with that bishop on f5 or g4. My opponent went with, after bishop f4, with a great move, queen c6, and then he told me after the game that, like, 30, 40 years ago, he had a game and he even beat up someone like this with the queen c6. I played rook g1 and he played bishop to b4. All of a sudden, position gets pretty crazy looking, but don't forget I won this in 5 moves. I played a type of my favorite move, rook to g3. I like rook lifting. I just control the c3, and I'd be happy to go with knight e5 this time to not just chase the queen away, but now I really feel bothered by existing bishop on g6. He went with knight e4, and after he played knight e4, I realized that okay, when I played rook g3, I saw that I was going to play knight e5, but I realized that he's making pressure against both. Here, my rook on g3 is doing a great job, because now he can take on c3, because I'm defending by rook on c3, and he doesn't have queen takes c3. He has to move the queen, in which case I just take on g6 and bring my rook into the center to go with some sort of action. When I played knight e5, he played queen b6, which is practically the only move. I play knight g6, h takes g6, and played rook to e3. A very important moment of the game, because he spent almost 7 minutes. And by the way, don't forget, we play game on 15 minutes, and it's critical position. Sometimes it happens. It even happened to me in the Serbian finals. When I take more time, sometimes I tend to play I don't know, I see some phantoms getting complicated, maybe getting a little bit tired, and I make sometimes way worse moves than when I play instantly. It happens, believe it or not. He, after like couple of minutes thinking, I believe 7, took on c3. He was supposed to play knight here, but then I would go with a3, and if he takes, I would play rook c3. He can't go with this because I trapped the queen. He can't go knight d5, even though it looks a little bit tricky. You just go with the rook b3, threatening the queen. And when he gives you check, because check and bishop is hanging, you go bishop d2, play c4, and with the bishop pair, with a great activity, you connect all your pieces, defend all of them, and white should be winning. After rook e3, all of a sudden came to me like complete shock. He played knight to c3. That's what I'm telling you. Sometimes you just take so much time and nothing seems to be enough. I recaptured my pawn and I was already happy because in the worst case scenario, I saw that I'm going to win 1, maybe even 2 pawns. But once again, surprising bishop a5. I played rook to b1 and he had nowhere to place this queen, so he resigned the game, and this is how I won this tournament. By the way, yes, he can place the queen here. Bishop is on f1. He can place queen here because of bishop b5, and like my son said, he had to give up the bishop and to play queen a5, but I believe on our level, even on my level, sometimes this should be enough to win the game. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays. Enjoy. And hopefully you're just going to enjoy in my content in the next year and have so many good results and even nice miniatures to show here as well. Thanks and bye-bye.